trashed by Energy. They just had a really bad loss against GAM. If you go out like this, no one's going to remember the T1 or care about the T1 game. That is going to be the blip on the radar, and the consistency is going to be getting slammed.
Maybe he's not good enough, right? And again, the worst year yet when this team goes par for the course. Now facing match point as GAM have a leg up. Let's quickly talk about pick and ban as we're in.
Got to be Rakan here, right? Split up the lovers duo. Palette was amazing with it, and it's just in general one of the best, if not the best, engaged supports in the game right now. So a Syndra. Kati, one of his favorite champions here. That's why I was banned in the previous game. And I expect Rakan split up here. Unless they've got some extra interesting ideas here.
Jungle?
GAM definitely are.
I wonder if they go Rumble again.
Okay.
I mean, that was certainly very big for Kiaya, but now it would be two really strong APs. And then it becomes a little bit hard to balance.
Oh, they're going to go Renata. They lock it in. So, I mean, you're going to be playing into Rakan. But
Pre-counter it, yeah.
Exactly. The idea is, hey, you're going to play dive. You're going to be playing this aggressive stuff with the Rakan, and we're going to bring this out. That being said, it's not like you have to lock in full dive just because you have Xayah Rakan. You could just have one form of engage and have something that's a little bit less committal. So I still think you go Rakan. Neeko would be interesting. They just lock it. So this is that other kind of pocket pick that I was talking about from APA. The three that he's kind of known for as the more little off-meta things in pro is the Ziggs, the Cass, and the Neeko, which is now going to be brought out here. For playoffs,
this was his
APA,
comfort.
This was his comfort. And he had really good engages in the 5v5s, so was able to set up his team well. But I just think more so than anything, Yeon needs to step it up. And he's going up against a Draven in the bot lane. Draven Renata, one of the most dominant bot lane duos, because Draven can play so aggressive with the bailout to get those cash outs.
And to the earlier point, you can kind of back out of a Rakan and not go full engage, but you can't back out of a Rakan and a Neeko pick and not go full engage now. They are committed. That is full engage into a Renata, into a Syndra scatter of the week, into the stand aside from Draven. So GAM, they definitely see this coming, and they've got quite a lot of counter engage tools already. Now they just need to worry about Pyosik, the one who can really throw a wrench in the game plan here. And so they're taking away the Jarvan, the early ganker. They already kept over their two bans from game number one, his two favorite champions as of now with the Lee Sin and the Viego. So honestly, I think they're checking a lot of boxes here in Champ Select.
I mean, I think the champion pool slimming down massively for both these junglers as well. Wukong now taking off. Like, do we start going through Vi?
Sejuani.
There's a lot of tanks up right now. The Rel is also very, very good, very viable. I would hope that Team Liquid would be able to get it, but you know, Levi could definitely take that as jungle for GAM.
And something else I will say is that, you know, yes, the Neeko is dive, but I do like champions that deal lots of AoE damage against Renata, because Renata succeeds so much against single target damage, because you deny that one kill. If you can go in, you have lots of AoE CC, lots of AoE damage, it becomes very difficult to pick and choose who you're going to bail out, similar with Zilean. So it'll be interesting to see where they do want to go with that. Jack's the final ban there. So this does lead me to believe maybe it's just like a Renekton on 4 for Kiaya, and then, you know, trying to ban out some of these kind of consistent matchups that we see into that.
Yeah, get him a strong front line here from Team Liquid. Are we also going to take... Oh, they actually banned the Nocturne. Usually they like to pair it with the Neeko for the engages, but they're preemptively taking that from Levi. Obviously, Levi, actually, I would say the most famous Nocturne in the world.
Agreed,
After the original GAM Super Leash level 6 Nocturne that they're so well known for.
It is interesting, though, because he barely played it at all this year. He's 2 games on it, right?
Yeah, you play it once, you get Super Leashed once, Azael. You remember that for a lifetime.
Of course. I mean, that's the most famous Nocturne game ever, I would say. But it's not been something that's been, you know, popular in Worlds at all, and there was no dive drafted with it, so, like, I was kind of surprised. I didn't even think that it would really kind of fit into their comp. But it's going to be the Vi as the option here now for Levi, so is going to have some dive, and I have to see what are they going to pair with that, because obviously Vi plus Draven plus Syndra, a lot of upfront burst, a lot of damage to try to get that kill and try to get that cash out.
I kind of like Rel here for Pyosik. Even though Pyosik loves to be early skirmishing, dueling junglers, he likes to have damage, so it'll be interesting to see him on one of the tank options this time around.
But surely that tank option's not going to be the Trundle, right?
So,
I mean, there's no pure tank on the opponents.
Well, and here's the thing. So Trundle, you know, is one of those champions that you can actually play against people that don't have any dashes like Draven, and you can just pillar him out of every fight. And you can actually go a pillar max build early on, but Kindred, the world champion on his skin.
Use the skin. It's so good.
You have to. You surely have to. I mean, this guy wants to hold on. Like, when you're in an elimination match and you're about to be knocked out from Worlds, when you just won last year, this is when you bring it out.
And so this was banned against him basically all year long in NA. I think you have to play it once or twice. That's about it. He was known as a terror with it in scrims. Of course, he won a world championship. Pyosik, if you don't know, it means mark in Korean. So it is actually named for the Kindred. He was a Kindred one trick when he was first coming up. That's his name. He has a world championship skin on it. It doesn't really get any more iconic than this pick.
Ooh, I like the last pick here for GAM. The Kennen for
Counter
Kiaya.
engage, so good.
He's really, really going to be a big problem for TL to deal with. Both, counter engage for later and having your own ultimate, but also the lane phase here. Kiaya has some extremely good lane phase stats, and as good as Summit was, unless he gets, some jungle attention early, maybe, might be a bit brutal early on.
Because from the side of TL, I kind of want to digress through this comp because we talked about it early. There's a lot of all-in, there's a lot of circles again. I don't know, we're just like circles today. But
League of Legends like circles.
It does, it really does.
They don't use a lot of other shapes. Maybe we need to implement
Where's the
more
triangle
triangles
ultimate?
and squares. Yeah.
Where's the hexagon ultimate, huh?
True. I mean, we're going to open things up a little bit. Next couple of champions, maybe just going to be a wide variety of shapes. But look, I did have a question somewhere in there. I'll get to it eventually. TL, bit of team fighting here. Who wants to start? Who wants to break down TL as their backs are against the wall?
I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting here. A lot of it is going to be about the initial engage. There's low mobility on the carries here, on the GAM side, right? You have to get on Syndra, you have to get in onto Draven, but at the same time, you have to worry about the hostile takeover coming through from Pallet, the counter engage from the Kennen, so they can't really be too one-dimensional about how they're attacking. I also think that's why they went in towards this Kindred pick here, which is designed to deny a lot of the single target burst that is coming out from GAM, because they want 100 to 0 someone. They have the Vi ultimate coming in, Syndra ult, Draven ult, all over the top. And if you can deny that with that Kindred ult, they do have a lot of DPS here because you are playing a double marksman comp, even though it's one from the jungle.
Well, again, it's his pick. Pyosik last year, the DRX journey we all know and love, we all know so well. He brings it out when they're down match point against GAM, who brought game one here in the 0-2 day. Can they take it to equal footing here? Can they take it to one apiece?
I love it. I think it might actually be so hilarious, though, if Pyosik walks up fully blinged out in his world skin, world champion from last year, and then just goes 0-4 at Worlds and is like, see, I'm going home. Peace. Wearing complete world skins.
It's kind of interesting, too. I mean, I say this non-ironically, though people will kind of take it as flame. I mean, Yeon just hasn't had a good tournament so far. You need kind of that secondary marksman. You need damage coming from somewhere. You need to have a consistent source of damage. So it's like maybe it is, hey, we're going to bring in Kindred. We're going to have the DPS coming from there. Obviously, they need to have Yeon step up if they want to be able to turn this series around, because he has kind of been absent for TL, I feel like, throughout the event.
And I feel like GAM have drafted for that, right? Again, strong 2v2. We already talked about the Draven. Once you cash in and start snowballing in this game, it gets very dangerous for TL. And I feel like GAM have done their research. They know what's been going on in the tournament, but also what happened in that first game. Try and punish that bottom lane a little bit further.
I love it. Pyosik wants to advertise his world skin so he can rake it in. Any more extra purchases, welcome.
It's also worth noting it is Cleanse and Ignite down in the bot lane. So Pallet, he is playing the most common runes, but it's not going to be heal on the Renata, as we sometimes do see. So they're going more aggressive. They're looking for those kills. Obviously, anytime you're playing against CC heavy, but also for the exhaust, you need to have the cleanse on the Draven, because it's all about having that burst, having those aggressive trades, and they're stepping forward here.
Already, it's getting that damage down. You can see Slayder with a couple of chunks into CoreJJ. Even Yeon at the end doing exactly what the Draven lane does best.
Yeah, they're going to push up, and since you've got a bottom side start for Pyosik, he's not looking like he's coming down here early, so it is going to be GAM moving in onto the turret, trying to make Yeon miss CS at turret, try and constantly harass him here, throwing out the Renata harassment under. They do get the handshake as well, try to pull him away. But Pyosik, look at the minimap. He's coming back down. He's crossing after a red side clear. He's going to hop over the back of the dragon and come behind them.
Very sneaky. No ward there to spot him out. Look at where the wave is at. TL will be able to clear some of this. This is about to crash as well. At 2 minutes 50, Pyosik. There's a reason why he's Kindred's feared. CoreJJ with a root, but no! He fails it as he flashes away. It's an early cash, but no, only for Paladin. Pyosik wants to trade this off, flash away from Slayder, and he gets one. This might actually be okay for TL, considering that Pallet got the kill.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the end of the world here. And honestly, Slayder made it way better for TL than it should have been. He should have just accepted his death. There's no reason to flash away there, because now there's the opportunity for the regank. The cleanse was used early on the exhaust, so I think that made sense to get the kill on the core. Okay. But that flash when Pyosik's behind you, you are not getting away.
Also, this could get worse because they know that he started on this bottom side and they counted his jungle camp. So they have to know Pyosik is going topside now, and Levi just finished a full clear down to the bottom side, so it's not going to get any better for Team Liquid. There's no help coming, and their wave naturally will push back out away from them. So this bottom lane, it suddenly becomes more difficult. Sometimes it's the knock-on effects afterwards.
Yeah, they should know that he's down here, though. They did have that ward over in the river, so they spotted him doing it, and Core now going to suss this out. I'm also interested to see Pyosik. He is obviously a Kindred master. You notice how he's not taking the topside scuttle right away? Because the mark was on the bot side scuttle, if you actually wait, you can force spawn it on that topside scuttle. So he's going to delay his scuttle take very likely to try to get that guaranteed first mark, which is one of the tricks you can do as a Kindred player.
First one lost bottom at the very least, but I like the point out there, especially since he's hovering there for now.
There it is. He waits till it spawns, and then he actually just took it. So he was hitting that scuttle until it was 300 HP, and then didn't kill it until it spawned, and now got a free mark.
Just got the smite.
I can see why people like you guys. You're very smart. You know what you're talking about.
It's a little trick, only works for the first one, and he's going to be able to counter jungle Raptors afterwards, but it means bottom lane is still...
They weren't expecting it, were they? Good damage coming through, loyalty program.
They kind of were expecting it, is why he walked up there.
Right.
Except that by walking up, you then take the Q and you take a bunch of damage anyways, and your wave is still pushing out. This is why I really highlight it as your problem doesn't get any easier for this bottom lane after that play. And a lot of times, it is the next few minutes after that where you really start to pay, because they know Pyosik has to be going to the top side of the map, and the wave control is just not there, and you're into a Draven.
I mean, look at the farm, right? And it's not that, oh, Yeon, you're missing CS. It's that he can't walk up to the wave. The wave has been hard frozen on them after that play. So he just has to take the L, take a base, come back with that extra longsword, and hope that they can reset it. This wave will eventually bounce because he is letting it crash. But that being said, when he bases, he's going to have a massively better buy, and I'll be interested to see where he does go. There's a lot of different Draven builds, but I'm seeing a lot of Dravens love to go towards the early serrated Dirk, get that early lethality, and sit on that for a later collector. And we'll see if that's going to be the option, because it gives them so much power, and especially when you're paired with that Renata, you win every 2v2. There's just no way Core and Yeon can win a 2v2 against this 2v2.
I mean, again, I love how important it has been in this bottom side as we continue talking about it. As you said, wave reacting now. Pyosik hovering in lane. It looks like Kati as well is trying to make the move down.
Yeah, seen on a ward here, so it looks like they're brewing their trap of their own. They'll see the recall, and they might even see the Vi if he comes down here too.
They did. They pinged on the Vi, so they should know, I think, that the Vi is there. So I think Pyosik is just going to be here for a potential counter gank. But if Vi shows mid, then they could actually look for a go.
No flash on Slayder.
Not going to pull the trigger. At the very least, still waiting. Pyosik being very, very patient, but the problem is every second he spends here and nothing happens, well, ignore me, because something does. Pallet flashes away, exhaust is down as well, trying to get Yeon back with that first kill. Pyosik gets another as well, and this guy well and truly on the board.
Yeah, this is actually really critical. They had to prevent the bounce. GAM desperately wanted to crash the wave, so it would bounce and then come back to them, and they could set up another freeze off of the base. But now, you lose that kill, you lose the flash off Pallet, and Slayder can't actually take a base timing there because the wave is crashing on him. So this is really important here for TL. Unfortunately, Yeon doesn't get the kill, so Yeon is still going to be very far behind in the 1v1, but Pyosik is off to the races.
Yeah, and honestly, what you're talking about earlier with them having a backup AD carry, Yeon's actually the backup here. Pyosik is the #1 DPS carry.
Time to learn support, kid.
Exactly. Both kills onto him, and they've got the perfect pairing. We often mention Pyosik and APA and the bond that these two have created, both in and out of the game. You've got the perfect setup. You know, APA is, as much as he's made mistakes elsewhere, he is amazing engaged and setup as a Neeko for a big carry jungler like Pyosik on his Kindred.
And I think as well, you know, what we're talking about with the early game so far, the fact that this Kindred now has momentum, now has 2 kills, goes against what GAM are doing with their comp. We know that one item pick potential is huge, right? But still, the fact that this early game is going so well with, Azael, good mention, second mark coming through, means that TL have a lot more to play with. As Levi's just been spotted out in a missing Herald pit 10 seconds too early. Kiaya with his ulti available so they don't pull it, but TL off on the side. Force the flash. Kati now poured out. He's got no summoners, and Pyosik says, have another one in, but the handshake's so good. Now with the Kennen slicing Maelstrom, it's in a great spot for GAM to hit back. It's the first adoration. Cashes in. Oh, TL, it looks so good as the Axes come back. The scat of the week there. Kiaya follows up with a kick ulti from Pyosik as well. Drop the DRX, he lives. But GAM turned that around so suddenly.
Really good kiting by Kati there. Keeps them on the edge, scatters the weak, pushes them away, kind of baits them in even further, and the rest of GAM come to aid him.
Yeah, that was so critical. That scatter was so clutch. Then the handshake from Pallet. Everyone piles in at the last moment there. It looked at first like it was going to be an easy kill onto Kati, but it was not. At the end of the day, getting that cash in on the Draven is huge.
Yeah.
And he did go for this rated Dirk. He did pick up the Sheen. You do sometimes see people go Essence Reaver, but Triforce is very common from this spot, and this is back to that earlier play. They know they need to try to get something going on this bot lane. They force the flash, exhaust the slow, and they're able to chase down.
Yep, nicely done from them. But as we know, there was already a quick rebuttal up here towards the Rift Herald fight. And initially it looked great unless you look at the mini-map. And you see the bottom lane are recalling, and they're coming over to the fight after that bottom side play. So it's kind of a domino effect from the bottom side play, getting the success there with the earlier recalls. It does mean Team Liquid, during this time, they get a turret plate on bottom side, I believe. Two for Yeon.
Okay. So it's something, and at the end of the day, it is just that one kill for GAM as TL kind of narrowly limp their way out. But it does mean there was also Herald taken after that, and it's the cash-in kill, and it is going to be Triforce, so we can see that Hearthstone Axe, I believe it is called, that is picked up. So Slayder going to be working towards that and is still way ahead of where Yeon is, but Yeon did get those 2 turret plates, so that's like basically a kill for himself down in that bot lane, which helps to kind of salvage the situation.
But as you can see with the gold there, I mean, still Slayder, we're telling the story of close to that first item. You're both mentioning, I think the biggest thing is so far, it feels like we're going to talk about Pyosik versus Slayder.
Found axe, excuse me.
No, you're close enough. Everyone saw the axe and thought, an axe is an axe.
It's a triangle. Oh. More shapes in the game.
Right shape.
There you go. Pyosik currently up on the top side, though, should be able to clear down through the skull again, but it means GAM gonna take the dragon, Kati gonna take a turret plate, so GAM again with the early lead this time around, much better than the start last time. 1,000 gold plus the dragon start looks really good for them.
Yeah, they're got to be feeling good about their chances in this game. You know, feeling confident after game number 1. They know that they can out-team fight TL if they're performing like they did in game number 1. And again, they have the gold where they need it. It's on their carries. They have great counter engage. They have great answers to the dive here from TL. And a lot of pressure now on Pyosik. Had that amazing first game, but it's been a lot more quiet since.
So now I think you guys got to tell me a little bit about how TL continue to mitigate, or at least maybe slow the pace down. Is that what we want to see here, Kobe? Like, because GAM, obviously, with what we talked about, with one item, with a comp with the Draven as well, want to speed the game up, right?
Honestly, I just want to see them make use of some of this engage from APA. You know, get creative with this Neeko and actually set up more kills for Pyosik and try and snowball this Kindred. He's got another mark. At least he was able to get in there to get mark number 2. But you really want to get to mark number 4 with Kindred, so you get the extra range.
Yeah.
Because honestly, yeah, their solo laners don't scale real great for Team Liquid. Definitely will have double 80 carries for later, though, and a lot to make space with.
Question answered. I feel important enough to note that Pyosik has picked up another mark as well. So number 3, one off that special amount. As APA going to pop blossom towards mid. They thought it was a fake, but Pyosik's rolling in. Kati, his flash is about 10 seconds off the cooldown. TL with that timing is
He's waiting for the mark.
And he was indeed, but Pyosik was out of range.
No, but he should have got it because it applies, and as long as he has the assist tag, let's see if he actually did get it. We can double check.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Right, 'cause he got
and he got a jungle steal, so he has 4 marks. He just actually
good correction.
Just jumped up ahead there. But that was again one of these tricks that you can have as a Kindred player, because when you apply the mark on a new player, it takes some time to arm, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
So he was waiting there. That's why it looks so weird. He's calling out APA, don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. Then when it applies, they get the kill, and now he jumps out of 4 marks. This is so cool to see.
Really huge as well. Let's look top side though, because the roam from APA again, but the slicing maelstrom there. Summit's in danger. Teleport on him. Unleash power. Summit caught napping as the 2v2 in the bottom side opens up. But Pyosik's now here. Now that the ult is out from Pallet as well, it seems approachable, but Pyosik not pulling the trigger just yet.
Oh, GAM is going to blow up top side here after that kill. Now only APA is around, and Levi's looking for more.
Walking in with no mana, has the flash available. It's
all the routes!
Tangle bumped! Oh, APA! I was lured in, I'm so sorry.
All I had to do was ask for it, and APA 2 kills back to back makes them good for Team Liquid. They are still behind. Let that be true. They're definitely still behind here. GAM has the lead, but there's a little bit of life on the Rift.
Yeah, absolutely. These are some confidence-building plays here. APA, a couple good plays in a row. I'm just enjoying this game as a fan of Kindred. This is my most played champion all time. I love the little intricacies, the details that they're playing around with here. Summit going in aggressive as APA was on the move, but it's Kiaya who arrives first, and APA says, this is a lost fight. I can't actually walk in through the Syndra, so he had to walk the long way around.
Yeah, and then Levi sets it up here from the brush. APA, though,
great flash.
Really good flash into double root under the tower. Thank you very much. Flashes the GAM there as he walks away.
And man, I'll tell you one thing. As you said, it's great to be a fan of this game. There's only a 1K gold lead. GAM with the Dragon. We've got another one in a minute 30, but it's just a quick reminder. After this, you're wondering, there's got to be another game. Our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz is coming up next. T plus Kia versus BDS. That's our next series. So it doesn't just end there. EU are also fighting for their life.
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah?
Oh, there's got to be another game after this, right?
Great timing. People might tune in and be like, this is it? No way. I mean, we're still hoping this might go to the distance, but I mean, TL, regardless, making them work for it as MasterCard's lane economy snapshot says, hail Pyosik with his 4 marks and his very fed Kindred.
Yeah, he's in a great spot and does actually secure that as Levi was jumping forward. Yeon is in an okay spot now. He does have his Kraken Slayer completed. He has the crit cloak on top, so he's not so far behind the Draven. You know, he is within striking distance. It's about 400 to 500 gold. So they have kind of stemmed the bleeding somewhat, excuse me. And I just really want to see if Yeon can have that big fight, because I do think everyone else on TL has kind of had their big moments, but they really need to get Yeon involved. They need to have him, you know, performing at that high level as TL are moving up for potential Herald scrap.
Actually, I think they're going to look for a double teleport. They're not teleporting to the same ward, though, so everybody will be here on time.
Can move back towards mid. Herald resets for the time being. Pop Blossom single, but it gets the flash out. Now, flash or Pop Blossom, what's more important in this fight?
I mean, I think in short term, it is actually the Pop Blossom, because playing without ulti for this Neeko is really devastating. But we'll have to see, can Core get like an ulti flash onto Kati and you immediately eliminate him? The combat power is just much lower from APA, and GAM aren't willing to risk it. They don't want to give up a kill here.
Yeah, I think they can try and transition down towards this Dragon. It looks like TL going to chase them a little bit, but their bottom lane just goes, or APA used his teleport already.
Oh, he's looking for Kati.
Be a big pick.
Pyosik has ult. Kindred ult, great for tower diving.
Oh yeah, and with Herald there as well, you don't have to wait for the minion wave while the rest of the team might be caught out. Yeon gets targeted. Kiaya going in. Hang on, this Kennen has an angle with Kati roaming down. He's like, forget the top of TL. We might have a fight. There's the assistant. Rather getting through. Yeon flashes out over the wall. CoreJJ's knackered, and he's taken out. It's a bit of a pick from Kati as the rest of TL have to run away.
I mean, Kati just played this so well. They were wrapping around on him, and he just turns it into a pincer move onto Yeon. No one was blocking for Yeon for a lot of those hits. He got incredibly low, has to blow both summoners. Core dies for free, and then it's a TP down towards bottom, so potentially going to look for this tower as well while TL are striking again top.
Pick off on Kiaya against the wall, 1 versus 2. Slicing mouse from Hughes just to help with the wave as well. An easy pick once again.
Waiting for the mark.
Oh, yes, indeed. Number 5, taken away.
Exactly. Again, just playing around these marks so incredibly well. That is the communication between these two players. They have them in a really good spot. And remember, after your first range increase at 4, you only need 3 for the additional range increases. So he is only 2 off that second range increase. That's where I always feel like it really starts to get out of control for Kindred, because you can so safely auto from that point. When you have that additional range, you really can become powerful. But let's watch this again. And to me, it's so much about the move down from Kati, who's coming from that top side. He's being chased by multiple members, but he's the pincer play.
And look at the mini-map. APA stays top to get the local gold for killing that turret because they use the Rift Herald. So that's what turns this play that originally is Team Liquid 2-for-1 on top side trying to make a pincer movement themselves into GAM advantage numbers through the river, GAM pulling out the kill. But then Team Liquid do pick up the extra kill here for Pyosik, and Pyosik is the carry for this team. Still deathless on that Kindred with a lot of extra damage coming through to here. So should be able to get a little bit more magic resist to deal with all that damage from the Syndra as well as the Kennen. And maybe the world champ on the world championship skin could be what they need to push it to another game.
There's definitely a carry angle here. I mean, they are up in gold. TL's not in a bad spot. You know, likely going to go towards like Wits End second, something along those lines. If you go Wits End Merc Treads, there's a lot of CC and there's a lot of AP over on this side, so that is going to be pretty powerful here as GAM trying to set up a potential angle.
Okay, cease and desist at the flash in. TL group up though. Levi, has he gone too far forward? But hang on a minute, Renata ulti in time? No, it wasn't. Yeon dies in the end. Kiaya goes under turret. GAM still have it in them. The fire burns as they're one step away, and they keep the game competitive.
Heartbreaking for Yeon. He was just a couple seconds off having his ultimate, just barely didn't have it. So great timing from GAM to be able to find that hard engage. They had that time to the second to have the confidence to go for that.
TL still trying to get something out of it with the trade on top side. APA keeps on pushing here for the Neeko. They do get a tier 2. Remember, tier 2's worth 800 gold for your team in the design team attempt to buff split pushing. So definitely a very valuable trade there for Team Liquid.
That's supposed to be top lane gold. What's the mid laner doing stealing that? Give it back.
Oh, meanwhile, 1v1 in the bottom side. Kiaya has got his flash available, but Summit also does match it. Come on, Summit. But out of range, Kiaya's out, and that's a very fast little rat.
And I think he would have flashed if he had his E.
Oh! What did I say? Rats can't run.
You just need a little bit of minion wave help from your opponents. He was waiting for the minion line to get here for the slice and dice, and he goes for it.
Crocodile versus the rat. It's really never a fair matchup there.
True.
Report GAM minions. They should have stopped.
It's such a big kill, guys. Mid turret opens as well. Gold lead for TL here at 19 minutes of the game as Kati walking into the brush of death. Guess who hasn't left? It's Summit with Scatter the Week out, and Kati gets burnt down. He just got to the lane.
Lucky, though, that Summit didn't have his ulti, because that could have been him going for an all-in if it was actually up and available.
Yep.
As Yeon's just kind of hanging out here around mid lane, has to play safe because Core is on the roam, and Levi trying to set up a potential pick angle here onto APA, but he doesn't win that 1v1, so he would need to wait for an additional member to come before he looks for the engage.
All right, as we transition to 20 minutes here as well, we're going to see them move all the way towards the Baron, of course, but here's the replay that we're going to take a look at first. As the flash initiation, we were talking about the small timing between getting the Xayah ultimate. It is covered by Pyosik pretty well. It's just that Draven ultimate from Slayder, nicely timed, over the top, an execution for him. He cashes in and is able to make good on that one. And then you know how this 1v1 eventually turns out.
Yeah, just really well played. And the Strikebreaker versus these range matchups can be so powerful. People often just default towards the Gore Drinker, but he has the slice and dice into the Strikebreaker slow there, and then gets back in for the flash Q, Strikebreaker, the W to finish it off. Really well played, clean stuff from Summit.
Yeah, and that Kennen really wants to be using the flash for these team fights, really wants to play with the rest of the team, doesn't want a lot of 1v1 side lane action versus Summit versus Team Liquid. So Team Liquid with their side lanes pushing, they've got the advantage.
Hang on a minute, there's a flash forward. CoreJJ's found a pick. Kiaya, as you said, he wants this flash. Well, he wants it to get out of here, that's for sure. Pyosik with another kill. Stop giving the Kindred money.
And this is while they're split pushing.
Don't stop.
While
Keep going.
Oh, you want that, yeah.
While they have Summit pushing on bottom side, so they're going to apply pressure to bottom side. After that pick, they can just move on down to the Baron here and keep things rolling. There is a control ward inside, but they've got plenty of damage. 2 carries for themselves. Will burn right through this thing.
Yeah, and this is problematic because they have to send someone to answer Summit. He's still going. He's going to go in towards the inhibitor towers if they don't send someone back. Kiaya, remember, has no TP, so he can't even TP to join here. APA is on the flank.
He can try and keep Levi out. He's looking to deny the smite.
Amazing map play, though, to say the least. Either way, it's damage done, but TL have to hold their own in front of this Baron. The steal, Levi's in. Oh! TL, how could you let him do it? He'll sacrifice his life, but can they get anything else? Surely not. This team is liquid sometimes. The jump up from APA finds Slayder at least some retribution. The ulti used defensively, but Kati's found a kill over the wall. Yeon and Pyosik just what they were given, with just some money back in this game. 2 kills, make it 3 surely, but with Scatter the Week, Pyosik is being bailed out in his own unique way. Yeon chasing after. TL are getting low. Kati has a full mana bar. All it takes is a Scatter the Week. Oh, guys, you must be on edge. There's the ulti from Pyosik to get the kill finally. The Whirling Death won't get it, but why was that allowed to happen?
That one hurts. There's just no reason that they should just let him walk up bold as you like into the pit like that. They were clearly worried about taking the fight because someone was on the roam trying to join, but...
Well, APA was at the behind the Baron pit, so he was looking for the Vi there, and Vi just walks in through the river instead. Good job from him avoiding the Seek, but Pyosik at Worlds, another Baron stolen away from him. Last time he still won the series, so
true.
That's all I'm saying.
Guma stole a lot of those.
Guma stole a bunch of Barons, and it didn't end up mattering.
That didn't matter, right? It's totally fine, Kobe.
Here's your cope. I'm delivering
it live. There you go.
live.
Thank you. That's my world champ. Let's go.
Well, Jets, look, are you ready to do it again? Because TL and GAM are forcing themselves around the dragon. Third dragon for GAM it would be here as they're just waiting TL are split apart. Look at the map right now. Yeon running in. They're not a full unit, but GAM aren't going to pull the trigger. So, first Dragon of the game goes to TL in their own way.
Yep, going to be able to grab that. It is obviously not the best soul, but just denying that soul point from GAM is really important here. TL, despite the Baron guffaw, the Baron mistake, whatever you want to call it, it is going to be still a decent spot for them in this game. They're still, nearly 4,000 ahead. They have a monstrously fed Pyosik here, and no one can really answer someone in the side lanes anymore. He's kind of gotten past that time where Kiaya can do anything to him, so it's going to have to be Kati often answering those waves in the side lanes, but Syndra by herself can really be vulnerable.
Man, this is insane. All right, usually when you have Xayah on your team, you want to combo a Blade Caller. Usually you want to combo a Blade Caller to burst down Baron, but he uses his feathers to try and get Vi, but Vi is in there anyway.
I don't know. I just think that's just such an obvious mistake. Like, they saw him coming. It was still at about 2K. Yeah. You can just stop hitting it and just turn on the Vi. There's no need to actually flip that. And the look of total disappointment on Kobe's face is measured by what I feel in my soul.
There were about 6 things they could have done differently here, but
about this one. Well, it's dangerous. Levi with the ulti straight away. All it takes is Scatter the Weak, but early little ulti coming through from the Kindred. TL going to try and turn it around. Out it goes, but it's a slicing melt on the backline. ABM might have brought it back. As you said, he pops, he blossoms. TL are back on in this. Guys, you don't have to be depressed anymore.
They don't need no Baron. They're just going to kill all the champions.
ABA gets into the back line, putting TL on his shoulders in that fight. That was definitely nerve-wracking, but now, could this be the end? It definitely could. They're going to push for it.
You've heard of the legend of Doran not caring about Kennen minions. Pyosik will one-up you. Steal as many Barons as you want. He's going to win the game.
On his world champion skin as well. The absolute legend pulls this out. As you said, guys, been banned against him all year for good reason. But TL have still got it. Yeah, there's a couple of mistakes in between. But we go to the game 3 where North America stay alive.
Woo!
Oh my
I always doubted that. that game was something.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride this series so far. I gotta say though, incredible game from Pyosik. I think how he and APA worked was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
That is hilarious, actually.
Much better game. I mean, APA's been cutting some flack. I feel like Kobe's just done. He's.
The camera's on us. I feel better about my Barons getting stolen. From now on in solo queue, that's what I'm going to say.
Oh, really? Well,
Pyosik strat.
I mean, this has to go to a break, surely. Ladies and gentlemen, game